Welcome to German Black Metal Review. This time we have a band called Äera, which is here with the album called Phantast. Now, Äera might be hard to pronounce for a lot of you people, with dots and all. And according to Metal Archives, the name is referring to old German god of the first or whatever. So already quite of a pagan feel like to the name. Okay, this is tricky to get through without destroying the booklet. Anyhow, this band is basically a successor to the previous band with the same lineup, which was different style and now, according to Metal Archives anyway, is now on hold. So while Äera might be Äera, might sound like a new band, in a way it is really, and this is their second album. But if you take a look at the lineup, which has been steady since the get-go, this is basically the same band, just with different style. So name change is in place, and gotta respect that, because I mean, if you change style very much, even if the lineup is the same, it just makes sense to give it a fresh start rather than riding with the old name, which would probably do no justice to the band. Here is how the packaging looks, and now let's get back to the Metal Archive site while I talk about the music. I'm gonna just packet the CD while I'm talking here. So this one was started in 2019 and skipped the demo phase, which is very essential and important to a lot of bands out there. But like explained, this didn't start just like that. So if you look at the members list, you will see there's this band called X Eternity, which lasted for quite some time, with a couple of albums and all. But according to Metal Archive site, I haven't heard this band, so can't really talk about my own experience. It was Black Death thrash metal. So, quite different. But the members are all the same, so this band has had the solid lineup since 2019. Something to respect, really, because there are lots of bands, even within few years after founded, they have lineup changes and then styles start to change and there are various problems. Now, 2 albums out between 5 years, and then there's EP in the middle and a couple of singles. Well, singles don't do much because they're usually taken from the albums, but 3 releases so far, and this is 2024 release. Here it says atmospheric black metal, which I can really agree with, because that's really the story with this given album. This is of Vendetta Records, something that I recently reviewed with other stuff, so let's focus on that. 4 songs resulting more than 41 minutes. It's a little bit of a red flag to me, having those very long songs. It usually doesn't make good for a lot of bands, because let me be honest about it. There are lots of songwriters which can, write song or two or quite many riffs nicely. But when it gets to, overextending their stay, past say 6-7 minutes marks, not to mention 10, it usually lacks a certain structure, and the lack of repetition often makes the song is just wandering around rather than being focused. And the lack of repetition sometimes also means lack of interest, because when you just dump too many riffs into one song and do it enough of times, it gets or becomes more like a mess. Nothing out of ordinary when we're talking about atmospheric black metal. I would say even it's kind of cardinal sin for the given genre. I mean, unless you're really Varg Vikernes back in the 90s creating atmospheric black metal with fantastic riffs, probably shouldn't go there. And that's one of the problems with Phantast. There are lots of nice ideas, especially when it goes really atmospheric and moody and all that stuff, but when it comes to memorability of these songs, it's hardly right there. Sometimes the band actually goes even as far as to kind of a post-black metal. There's definitely that kind of sounding like they don't even want to sound like black metal. Sure, the vocals are right there, and certain riffs and all that stuff are right there, but sometimes it just wanders around too much. It's always like wandering around the borders, and I mean, I don't care if you do that, but that's not necessarily what your audience wants to hear. So for me, this is a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it problematic, but kind of a challenging to like. Certain things are really, really nice, and the production, the vocals, right there. But like I said, the problem with overextending the songwriting, making them too long, and just incorporating some ideas which don't sound that great, it's part of the problem why this isn't really good. I mean, it's mostly like a nice album, but there's a big step from nice or decent to good, not to mention great. So it's gonna be a little bit of a dividing moment for me. Like I said, it has the potential and it really could have been a little bit better than this, but now it's kind of like failing to do so. But if you're a big atmospheric black metal fan, if you like post black metal, I think this is an album to go for. Really give it a go, even if you're not a big fan of atmospheric black metal. But if you don't like aggression and all that stuff coming your black metal, if you hate the kind of a raw sense of thing, or the cavernous feelings and all, well, maybe this is definitely you. And if you're looking at the similar artist, there's only Pilurian from United States mentioned, so maybe that can give you a little bit of idea what to expect. But in general, atmospheric black metal, post black metal should really do the trick for you to figure out whether or not this is your cup of tea. Potential band, and I think they will reach that full potential later on. But for now, for the time being, let's stick with that. Links are provided in the description box. Check it out. Bye bye.